What is going on, everyone? Welcome back. Hope you're doing well. Thank you as always for being here. Hope that you're enjoying the Halloween themed, the season themed tracks we've been doing this week. Hope you've been enjoying it. Hope you've enjoyed the set as well. I'm not going to do this for like every single holiday, but I kind of wanted to do a little something different, and I wanted to change the set a little bit. Sometimes you just need to change the wallpaper, and all of a sudden it's a brand new room. So anyways, today we are listening to the band Bloodrock. I've never heard of them, with their song D.O.A, Dead on Arrival, I'm assuming. This is off of their album, hold on, it's off their album Bloodrock 2, which was released in 1971. Like I said, I have never heard of this specific album, but this track was recommended to me by a few of you. David Heiser, who said that no song's creepier than this track, and it was apparently banned on some radio stations. So that's kind of interesting. I gotta admit, when you tell me a song has been banned or anything like that, it gets me interested immediately to kind of listen to it. BGM123 also agreed with you. John Clays recommended this track. Midnight Fury recommended this track. And I think that's it. At one point, Sarah Howe also made mention of the band. So I'm excited to listen to this band track. I saw that there were two versions of it, by the way. There was a 4-minute version, which I believe was the single version, and the album version, which I think is 8 minutes. 8 minutes and 30 seconds. So listen, anytime I choose one or the other, there's always people that tell me to do the other one. I usually just go with the album version because that's what's on the album. So I'm doing the album version, which has a double runtime. But that's what we're doing. So let's go ahead and get into it. D.O.A, Bloodrock. Now that's perfect for the season. I really like this organ playing.
Laying here, looking at the ceiling. Someone lays a sheet across my chest. Something warm is flowing down my fingers. Pain is flowing all through my back.
The back of an ambulance or something.
Tried to move my arm and there's no feeling. And when I look, I see there's nothing there. The face beside me stopped, it's wholly bleeding. The girl I knew has such a distant stare.
Okay, so his friend's dead too.
Something in the air. I remember.
Great bass playing, by the way.
We were flying alone, there's something in the air.
It's this alarm-like sound, very distressful.
Straight at the attendant. His face is pale as it can be. He bends and whispers something softly. He says, there's no chance for me.
This is a cool song.
The sheets are red and moist where I'm lying. God in heaven, teach me how to die. I remember we were flying alone and hit something in the air. I remember
That was really, really good. So I'm a little half and half on why it was banned from the radio. Like, all right, I guess it's a little maybe graphic, but not like really. Like I didn't think it was violent really in any way. Um, so I'm half on it because on one hand, like I can understand like when you're listening to the radio in the 70s and stuff, maybe the subject matter isn't really like something you'd want to necessarily listen to on the radio. But on the other hand, there's nothing like why not? It shouldn't be banned, you know? Like that's a little bit that's like a step too far to ban it on the radio station. You know, whatever. Either way, really great track though. I really like the structure of it all. So obviously we have some sort of accident. Seems like a plane crash by what he said in the very beginning, flying through the air. I love how the chorus comes back. I remember, and then he kind of recalls what happens in the chorus, and the chorus is so uplifting, like he's realized what's happening because obviously after the accident he's in an ambulance of some sort and he's being transported, and the doctor says you're not going to make it, and from that point on, you know that's when that long break occurs when he's probably just coming in and out of it and kind of reliving his life and whatever happens, you know, before you die. And I really enjoy how in the verse you have those sirens that are playing. The organ, by the way, fantastic organ. The sirens are playing even throughout the verse, so it's really cool to have that musical drama inserted into the song itself. And at the very end, those sirens begin to kind of pitch down. They begin to sound very echoey. They begin to sound kind of far away and distant. So you can kind of take that in two ways. Of course, he's dying, so the sirens are actually fading out because he's fading out. And also, the ambulance is continuing to drive to the hospital from the original place where the accident occurred. This is like a proto heavy metal kind of sound, and I would not be surprised if bands like Black Sabbath, Dio, who knows, Iron Maiden maybe. I would not be surprised if those bands and others had covered this song because it sounds like a very, very coverable track with really good vocals as well. And what I liked, let me use names. Hold on. Let me use names. On the vocals here, it seems like it's going to be Jim Rutledge. Jim Rutledge, I like his singing here because this is a very dramatic story, a very traumatic story. And yet, he sings with, to me, the perfect amount of that heavy metal drama. He's not being overly dramatic. He's not necessarily pushing his voice like to the max, at least as far as I can tell. He's not like pushing it to an extent. He's just kind of comfortably singing. He's kind of just moving along with everything. And I like that. It's not over dramatic. The story is already dramatic enough. He's not going to push it overly in the vocal department. The drumming also was really fantastic. That's Rick Cobb on the drumming. I love the fills that he's playing with. It's just like so downright groovy, especially in the chorus because they leave space for those fills, and I love when bands do that. I love when a song has that. It's just really entertaining to see what the drummer is going to come up creatively when it comes to those fills. And I do think that this song, you know, obviously this one 8 minutes 30 seconds long. I can see like the single version cutting this in half. Probably takes out the break. Probably takes out a verse, I would imagine, and you would have a little bit of a tighter song that doesn't, I don't think, lose any of its message or any of its musical meaning or anything like that. So I could see the single version being about cut in half of this. But I thought this was really good. The standout, though, is going to be the organ, who I believe is going to be Stevie Hill on the organ. The theme on the organ from the very beginning is haunting. It's distressing. There's something very troubling about it. It's perfect. The organ playing is perfect throughout this whole track. Just building that theme, having it reoccur, and just putting you in this kind of mood. Let's go into the lyrics a little bit. It's not much to look into. I remember we were flying along and hit something in the air. Laying here, looking at the ceiling, someone lays a sheet across my chest. Something warm is flowing down my fingers, pain is flowing all through my back. Okay, obvious. Like I said, been in an accident of some sort. I'm assuming plane because of we hit something along, or it's something in the air. I tried moving my arm and there's no feeling, and when I look, there's nothing there. The face beside me stopped it totally bleeding. The girl I knew, the girl I knew has such a distant stare. So there's, the girl he knew next to him Her stare is very distant. She's passed. I do think the line, I try to move my arm, there's no feeling. There's nothing there. He lost his arm. Well, I guess in the end he's going to be all right, assuming that he lost his left arm. And the chorus, I remember we were flying along and hit something in the air. I remember we were flying along and hit something in the air. Then I look straight at the attendant. His face is pale as it can be. He bends and whispers something softly. He says there's no chance for me. Life is flowing out my body. Pain is flowing out with my blood. Their sheets are red and moist where I'm lying. God in heaven, teach me how to die. I think that's a really sobering and humbling statement there. The very last thing he says, God in heaven, teach me how to die. Obviously, he's never died before. And all the emotions I can imagine that he's going through on that table as he is dying. How do I die? How do I, like, it's just one of those things you can think about and you can really, really begin to kind of let your thoughts wander with just that statement. Looking at this specific track on Wikipedia, I want to see, I want to know why. Is it because of the, like I said, the topic that was banned? The motivation for writing this song was explained in 2005 by guitarist Lee Pickens. He says, when I was 17, I wanted to be an airline pilot. I had just gotten out of this plane with a friend of mine at this little airport, and I watched him take off. He went about 200 feet in the air, rolled, and crashed. The band decided to write a song around the incident and include it for their second album. Okay, so this song has some actually, true-to-life meaning as well. Let's see. It says, in March 1971, many U.S. radio stations and high schools banned D.O.A. Despite a lack of airplay, the single still reached number 36 on the Billboard chart. So I'm just confused. I guess, like I said, on one hand, I guess I understand why maybe radios wouldn't want to play the song so much. But like I said, banning the song is a step too far, And then I just see some of the noteworthy cover versions here. Manila Road, Zero Theus, The Fuzztones, Virgin Steel. Don't know who any of those people are. but I'm really surprised that I don't see like a major metal or rock band covering this song. It just seems very, very coverable. Anyways, let me know what you guys thought of the tracks, or the track. Thank you guys for recommending me the song. You can let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to, before you leave, if you can just like the video. If you haven't already, might as well subscribe. You're here all the day, every day, so you might as well just subscribe at this point. You can follow me on Twitter, support the channel on Patreon. Thank you all so much for being here, and I will see you later. That's why I have a fear of flying sometimes. Bye.